Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. For those of you who don't know me, my name is DannyGloor. This is not the typical content that I usually post. I usually post lifestyle content, fitness content, anything that has to do with my life, things that I love, recipes, clothing hauls, anything of that sort. It's kind of a little all over the place, so you're gonna get a little bit of everything. However, today I have for you part 1 of the college series that I want to do, College Advice 2020. This is going to be episode 1, and it is going to be general advice that I wish that I knew before I started college. This is for freshmen, this advice is for sophomores, this advice is for anyone who is in college. Right now I have a bachelor's degree in accounting. I graduated in 3.5 years. And I am currently studying towards my MACE, which is the Master's of Accountancy here at UTSA. That is University of Texas at San Antonio. I do have really good advice that I wish I knew before starting college. I will say that I feel like my college journey has been more than successful. I would have never thought or imagine that I would have been so successful in college and so successful in life, and I just feel so blessed to be able to tell you guys that right now. So my number 1 piece of advice, my number 1 tip that I have for you is planning and balance. If you master planning and balance, you're already ahead of the game. So when I first was a freshman, I remember the days would go by so fast. I would wake up and I would go to class, and next thing you knew it was 10 o'clock at night, and I was like, what just happened to the day? I was supposed to do this, this, and this. I didn't get to do it. I didn't get to go to the gym. I didn't get to study. I was just so overwhelmed with all of this new freedom that I had, because in high school, you're going from a very strict schedule. You go to school, you get there at what, 8 o'clock? They have hour classes, hour and 15-minute classes. You go through all your periods. They tell you when you can go to the bathroom. They tell you when you can go to lunch. And they tell you when you can do just about everything. All of a sudden in college, you are 100% free. You don't have to go to class if you don't want to, but I recommend going to class, every single class that you can go to. And you can go to your hour and 15-minute class, and let's say at the very most you have 3 classes that day. That's it. That's all you have to do that day. It is up to you at that point to take what you learn in the classroom, to take it home and to start studying it. It is up to you to do your homework. It is up to you to then use your free time to go do things that you want. The best thing that you can do is get a planner. And if you don't have a planner, if they're too expensive for you, that's fine. You don't have Amazon, that's fine. Use your phone. Your phone has a calendar. There's so many planning apps out there that you can download. I like good old pen and paper, and this is the biggest regret and mistake that I think that I made in my first year or 2 in college. You have your day scheduled out and planned out. You're not going to take full advantage of the hours that you have in the day. This involves balance. Balance to me is being able to go study, also have fun with my friends, and still be able to do things that I really want to do, like work out, work towards my fitness journey, and make sure that I'm taking care of myself. So that to me is balance, and if I can get all of those things done in the day, or at least in the week, I know that I am succeeding. The second tip is managing your freedom. Now you need to balance your freedom and manage your freedom that you now all of a sudden have. In my whole college career, I had all but 1 semester with Fridays off, so my entire Friday was completely free. It was up to me to determine what I wanted to do in that free time. I could do nothing. I could go to the gym. I could study. There were all kinds of things that I could have done during that day, and I think that all comes back to planning out your day. If you want to do fun things like go to parties, then you need to be able to get everything else that you have to do done before you go to that party. Manage your time, do things that's useful, do things that is going to benefit you. You are now an adult at this point in your life, whether you are 18 years old, 21 years old, 17 years old. When I started college, I was 17 years old. So I was at that point, I had to put my big girl pants on and be an adult, and I think so do you. Your success in college is up to you. Every single decision that you make is going to affect you, good or bad. So I think that making good decisions, being responsible with your time, being responsible with the time that you have in college is key to success after graduation and key to success in your college career. So tip number 3, get involved. I think it is so important to get involved. For example, my first semester in college, I was living on campus. Like I said, the days would fly by. I wasn't organized. I wasn't planned out. I didn't even have a planner. I did not use Google Calendar. I just kind of went where the wind blew me, and I just took everything one day at a time and just did whatever. And so when I look back on it and I think about it, it's like, okay, that's fine, and that got me through that first semester. However, I did not start doing things that were going to have positive effects on me long term until the second semester, until I got involved. So when I say get involved, that means get involved in organizations, get involved with people who are going to bring you up. There's so many organizations on campus. For example, at UTSA, all you need is 3 people and you can build whatever organization you want. If you want a flower picking organization, a gardening organization, all you need is 3 people. They have international student organizations. And for me, what I identified with was being a first-generation student. If you don't know what being a first-generation student is, if you are the first person in your family to go to college, you are a first-gen student. If neither of your parents went to college, you are a first-gen student. And so I got involved in a first-gen organization. It was called F2G&G, First to Go and Graduate, when I was in it. And once I got involved in that organization, I went from just being an average student to all of a sudden opportunities that I would not have seen if I was not a part of that organization. I was able to build my resume by putting that I was a member of that organization, and then I ended up being treasurer of that organization. So I was able to build my resume doing so many different events with that organization, and that ended up leading me to study abroad. That led me to get into professional organizations, that then led me to get internships. And so it all started with me one day wanting to get involved with my college campus, finding something that interested me, finding something that I identified with, and getting together and surrounding myself with other students who had like experiences as me. This is my 4th piece of advice, and that is to actually study. My high school had a graduating class of 100 students. My town that I graduated from had 5,000 population. I came from a super small high school. Even when I didn't live in that town, my school was even smaller than the high school that I went to. So I came from a very small town. So transitioning from high school to college was a huge whirlwind of learning new things, and one of those was learning how to study. I never had to study outside of high school. High school was very easy for me. I never had to do anything out of the ordinary to make A's. So getting to college and all of a sudden having to work for that A, and all of a sudden having to work for your grade, hit me like a train. Take 2 to 3 hours out of your day to study what you learned in the lecture. Doing your homework is something separate from studying. Doing your homework is just helping you practice what you've learned. But studying that information is different than learning that information. And so that is something that I really had to register in my head, that just because I'm doing homework does not count as studying. I am still learning that information. I am still absorbing that information at that time. So you have to take a whole nother part of your day, a whole nother part of your week to study that information. So I would say spend 1 to 2 hours a day per class. And if you're taking 5 classes, that's obviously, it's gonna take up your entire day. You spend 3 hours in class, you're gonna spend another 4 or 5 hours studying. And so that's obviously if you wanna make a 4.0 GPA. I did not spend that much time studying, and I still graduated with a 3.6 GPA. If I would have listened to this advice, maybe I would have had a 4.0. Do not study in your room. My bed is about half a foot away from me. Do you know how tired I get when I study? It is so easy to be like, I'm just gonna take a 5-minute break, head straight over to your bed, and never look at that piece of paper again until the next day. Go study at Starbucks, go study at a coffee shop, go study at anywhere besides your room. Separate those places in your brain, and really allows you to relax when you're supposed to relax, study when you're supposed to study, and that helps you get things done and helps you be successful. My 5th tip is one of the tips has made me so successful in college: remaining active. My first semester was a semester of adjustment. In high school, they made you work out for an hour a day and then whatever practice you had after that. Learning how to balance all of this free time, all of this time that you now have to study, all of this time that you now have to be in class, all of this time that you're now spending in your organizations. If you followed all of my tips before this, now when are you supposed to work out? If somebody's not making you work out an hour a day, you're not going to do it. So remaining active, there's so many benefits that I could talk for an hour about. You're gonna want to start eating healthy foods that nourish your body, that nourish your brain. In college, you are constantly learning so many new things that you have never been exposed to before. So you're going to want to stay active. You're going to want to eat healthy foods. You're going to want to take care of your mind and your body. That is so important to keeping your mental health, your mental sanity. And I say this based off of personal experience, because my first semester, I was in that stage of transitioning from a super small town to all of a sudden living in a huge city, meeting all of these new friends, seeing all of these new people, just constantly being exposed to all these new things, not having time in the day, not properly planning, all of those things that I mentioned before this. That first semester was wild for me. I did not work out and I did gain that freshman 15. I remember the wake-up call for me was when I stepped on that scale and all of a sudden I realized that I was the heaviest that I had ever been in my entire life. So it all started with being like, okay, this is it. I'm going to be active. I'm going to take advantage of the humongous gym that UTSA has. I started dedicating 1 hour a day to losing weight, and I'll put a little before and after. I felt so much more confident. I felt so much more successful overall in my life, in college, and it all started with just being active. All right, so that concludes my college advice for you going into college. If you are starting college right now, hats off to you. This is the worst kind of situation to start college in. If you would like tips on learning remotely, please leave me a comment below. I will be more than happy to let you know all of my tips and tricks on how to stay successful in college. This is the first episode of this college advice series. The next 2 episodes I will be talking about internships and studying abroad, which I feel like both are extremely valuable and extremely important for, I would say, everyone who has the opportunity to do those things, to do them. And I will be giving you tips on exactly how I was able to achieve those things and exactly how I was able to study abroad twice in my college career and how I was able to get 4 internships before I graduated. Make sure you are subscribed if you want to go ahead and see those videos so you don't miss them. Like I said, I post every Wednesday, so you never miss an upload. Go ahead and hit that bell. And I wish you all the best in this upcoming semester. I hope that these tips help you somehow in some way as they have helped me. Until next Wednesday, I hope you have a great week, and I really hope you enjoyed this video. Like I said, make sure you're subscribed if you want to see more. Thanks for watching, and I will catch you next Wednesday.